Wake up Saturday, the whole town's alive. College football's back and the picks are arriving. Grab your coffee, pull the numbers up. Who's covering the spread? Who's getting roughed up? We study the matchups, we study the tape. Look at the injuries, the records of shape. Everybody's got an opinion to defend, but when that whistle blows, the guessing game ends. Picks and analysis, here we go. Breaking down the teams and predicting the show. Who's got the edge? Who's got the fire? Who's climbing the rankings and who's gonna slide? Picks and analysis, make your call. Touchdown coming, hear the stadium roar. From the first kickoff till the final play, we're picking winners every Saturday. Home field advantage, rivalry heat. Can the underdog pull off the feet? Big time quarterback with a cannon for an arm, or a running back bringing the fourth quarter home. Defense flying, safeties dropping deep. Third and long, somebody's losing sleep. The numbers look good, but the eye test says this team's got something better. Watch their play. Upset analysis, here we go. Breaking down the teams and predicting the show. Who's
You heard that right. Welcome to the season debut of Picks and Analysis. I don't know what season we're on, but it's the season debut. And shout out to my family member. Yes. Shout out to my family member for breaking in the new song, breaking in the new season. Like I was telling Jackson, I feel like Carrie Underwood singing the Sunday night anthem, getting a new music for the brand new season. As you can see, college football Picks and Analysis week 0. We got a new season upon us. New hope for everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, the season debut is here with my good buddy Jackson Johnson of the Jacksonian, and of course Sports Talk with Austin, here to preview and break down week 0. We're only 4 days away, still 4 days away in my time zone, and 4 in Jackson's as well. Jackson, we've almost made it, good buddy. We've almost made it. 4 more days. How you feeling?
Feeling great, man. We're rocking and rolling, man. So I think all I really had to do, for football to come back was just have the puppy dog eyes like this. Like that works every time. No, but in all seriousness, though, this is the last weekend until April 2027 of no college football and no college basketball like this. So we're going to be seeing a lot of college football, basketball until I think April 10th of 2027. That's something I saw on Instagram, but I'm going to have to double check that to be sure. But, oh, man, just stay busy here and there. Started out my day just kind of get some behind the scenes work done, voice college football, helping Paul out and Locked On West Virginia, and getting a college sports insiders done, then AC Live, and I conclude my day with none other than my good buddy Austin Wade with Sports Talk with Austin.
Yes, and like Jackson said, just staying busy while we can. I mean, listen, we got NFL preseason going on. That's currently happening right now. We got the final week of preseason while we wait for college football. And I get week 0. Some people don't really care for week 0. And I get it, Like,
well, there's going to be more games next year and the year after that and the year after that. Yes. That's for sure.
Because Jackson, I'm glad you brought that up because there's been a sentiment for a couple years now that some people think we should get rid of week 0 and that it should go away. And we should just start a week 1 like the NFL does. Let me ask you this, Jackson, just to get us started. Do you think week 0, Jackson, do you think that there should ever be a time we should get rid of this? Or do you think that? Okay. Yes.
Just put the preseason games on there. That way, like Michigan, week 0 is the ramp up for college football, like he says. And I mean, even though it feels like the conference title games will go away in the future, within the next few years. I mean, like, it's not going away after this year, and it's not going away after 2027. But I mean, with like a new normal, so to speak, one of the best parts of that new normal of college football is week 0. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I think like week 0, that's kind of becoming that new normal for the world of college football. And I think like the
Mm-hmm.
NCAA's realized that, where they're going, shoot, we're going to be having this. We need to be having this on an annual basis, because it seems like everybody's looking forward to that 1 week 0 game. Yo, traveling fools, get the see goodbye. It's been a minute.
Yo, traveling fools. How about them Canes?
Oh man. But yeah, so I mean, like, you think, like, I know like next year's week 0 will have like Wake Forest, Syracuse in Canada. Like, that's the crazy part. It's like, and we know
Mm-hmm.
like Pitt, Wisconsin, that's next year's game, of course. So it's like the
Yes.
week 0 lineup 2020 said they're getting prepared, but like the 2026 lineup is awesome. We're gonna be talking a lot about, bits and pieces of
Yes.
USC San Jose State. I mean, it's the only way where you're really gonna watch USC San Jose State,
Mm-hmm.
religiously.
Well, and I'll say this to you, Jackson. This year, week 0, Jackson, we've got another game besides the Ireland game, which we'll get to that. But Jackson, typically what it is you have your Ireland game, week 0, and then you have your cupcake game in there with USC or Wisconsin, whichever team you want to fill in. And then it's kind of like your mishmash of Stanford's, Hawaii's. Jackson, it's like kind of like when you go to dinner. This is your appetizer when they like bring out the bread or the potato skins. It's not supposed to fill you up. It's supposed to
Or
get you
your
hungry.
chips and salsa at the Mexican restaurant, and then like get
Yes.
the 4-course meal. Only you're trying not to eat too much chips.
Yes, exactly. Because Jackson, next week is when the steak and baked potato and green beans or fish, if you're vegan, your sweet potato, whatever it is you like to eat when you get a main course, that's when it comes. That's what week 1 is. But this is like your appetizer. But Michigan Anderson
I still want Pittsburgh Penn State rivalry week. I want that rivalry
I
week
see.
so bad. But I mean, Penn State, I mean, week 0. As long as it gets people excited about that game, I'm all for it.
Okay. And Artistically Incredible, thank you for joining us, and thank you for everybody joining us here on this Wednesday night. We love you guys. He says we don't cater to people.
This is some funny stuff in the chat from Michigan.
Hey, Artistically Incredible, I know a couple people that are vegan in my family and stuff. Like, that's why you get the point. The point still stands. Whatever you eat in the main course, that's what's coming next week. Okay, vegan, not vegan. And Trojan Fight says, I mean, honestly, are we excited about any of the week 0 matchups? I am. I mean, NC State, Virginia, which we'll talk about that here in just a second as I pull up the matchups, and me and Jackson make predictions. And we will keep track of predictions this year and upsets and all that good stuff when we are here. We're going to keep track this year. And we're going to see who really does better, who gets more upsets right. We're going to do better at that. But yes, I'm excited about it.
Except it's not in Brazil like it was going to be there, but it's going to be in Charlottesville, I believe.
Yes. But Jackson, we got TextNet 1776. 1776, make sure I said that right. He said, let's go. It's time for football. Yes, it is. Put on them pads and start hitting people. I mean, that's we're done with this practice stuff now. It's time to start hitting people. Let's start to figure out who's going to go where. And Jackson, let's start with our week 0 predictions, good buddy. Instead of just us sitting here talking about it, let's get into it. Let's get to predictions, good buddy. Are you ready to talk some football? So, Jackson, Saturday, August 29th, this coming Saturday, we have football at noon. North Carolina at TCU. Well, at TCU in Dublin, Ireland, the traditional kickoff game in Dublin, the yearly tradition. But Jackson, I want to point out The game will be simulcast on ESPN and Disney Plus. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the chat, Jackson for years has always said, put some games on Disney Plus. Put the crap teams on Disney Plus. Do this, do that. And what do we look at? ESPN has finally given Jackson his wish. He says, you know what, Jackson? Let's put North Carolina TCU on ESPN Plus. Jackson, how do you feel about ESPN listening to you? But no, in all seriousness, though, Jackson, what are your thoughts on this game?
Well, I mean, North Carolina, they've not been having a pretty hot off season, but I mean, like the Bill Belichick era has just been a complete total disaster zone so far for the North Carolina Tar Heels. I mean, like last year, it was about the 60 Minutes interview and how screwed up that was. And then, you see North Carolina getting stomped to death by TCU, and they're just coming up half a yard short in the Deep South's oldest rivalry against the Virginia Cavaliers. I mean, that's been one of those games that I could not get my mind off of. I mean, like that North Carolina team should have beaten Virginia that day, but they didn't. They're still getting dominated by North Carolina State. I mean, like when they hire Belichick, they're not sitting there thinking, oh, we're going to get dominated by North Carolina State. We're not going to lose the ACC to Duke football. Like they're not sitting there thinking about that. And then like Wake Forest taking a turn, like poking at their butts in the ACC. Like, good grief. I mean, that's not what they're thinking. They're not thinking Wake Forest going to tag team and smoking them, making sure they're putting on a blindfold and making them smoke a cigarette while beating the crap out of them. They weren't sitting there thinking about that. But now you got your new offense coordinator and Bobby Petrino, which... I mean, that would have been like awesome in 2002 or 2001. But the last few times that Bobby Petrino has been elsewhere, like Texas A&M, it meant somebody was getting canned. That's like the death knell to a coach at this point. It was the death knell for Arkansas last year with Sam Pittman, where it's, does it automatically mean this is the death knell for the Bill Belichick era in Chapel Hill? I'm not saying it is, but it's the question I'm asking myself. But, they got their starting quarterback in Billy Edwards. And, that offense has just been a mess. But, on the brighter side, I want to talk a little bit about TCU for a moment because they got Jaden Craig from Harvard, where he is rolling. And he's just coming in, smacking, people off the face of the earth. He's looking pretty good. I'm liking where this TC team's going. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to they're not going to win the Big 12 or anything. That's not what I'm saying at all. But this guy was like in the first team All Ivy League last year. That's a pretty good get. I mean, don't just automatically go, oh, this guy's from an FCS school or this guy, they're nobody. Like, yeah, that nobody is from Harvard, man. And he's on a first team All Ivy League team. That's as good as you could get right there. And honestly, I just want to see what's going to happen with this game. But I feel like that, we're not ready to make predictions yet, but this game is going to be team.
I will say this, Jackson. The spread is TCU favored by 9.5, so almost a full 10 points. Vegas is basically telling you TCU's a touchdown and field goal better. And Jackson, if you watched this game last year, this was the Labor Day opening Monday night game. And like Jackson said, there was all the hype in the world around North Carolina, and not a lot of people were talking about TCU in that game. Bill Belichick was the talk of the town. Of course, for obvious different reasons, and of course, his lovely girlfriend obviously took spotlight as well. But this year, Bill Belichick has redone everything in North Carolina. He's brought in multiple transfers for his defense. He let go of his son, Steve Belichick. He's no longer a part of the staff. Jackson mentioned they got a new OC, new offense. Belichick has revamped this roster altogether. And that's the thing too, Jackson. A lot of people in Chapel Hill have said this North Carolina team is going to be way better than it was last year. A lot of people have said North Carolina might win 6 or 7 games this year. And this is going to be a good proving ground game, Jackson, because yes, TCU lost Josh Hoover to Indiana. That's a huge loss for this TCU offense. But one thing with Sonny Dykes is, Jackson, he has proven no matter what kind of quarterback you give him, he can make the best of that quarterback. We've seen it with Max Duggan. Now, I get it, that may have not been his original guy when he got there, but he was able to maximize Duggan's potential. He was able to help Hoover make him a better prospect for Indiana. And like you said, a lot of people might write their quarterback off because he's from Harvard and might think he's not ready for this level. This is going to be a good chess match, Jackson. And it's neutral site. There's no home field advantage here. Mm-hmm. And like one thing, Jackson, that we forget about this game, as great as it is for both of these teams and how much they've changed from last year, North Carolina rehauling everything, getting a new staff, Bill Belichick looking to start off year 2 with the bank, Sonny Dykes losing his quarterback, losing some pieces to the draft. Jackson, the one thing that we do have to mention is how this game affects teams going forward. Because we saw it last year with Kansas State. Remember, Jackson, a lot of people, including myself, picked Kansas State to go to the Big 12 title game. And Dylan Edwards, their running back, ended up getting injured in that game. And Kansas State ended up rallying late in the year and made the bowl and finished off on a high note after they got healthy. But, Jackson, that game single-handedly flipped their season on its head. And Iowa State had momentum going, and then halfway through the year, they fell apart. So this game does do damage to both teams. The question is, Jackson, who comes out of this the better is the question, because you may walk away with the win, but who do you think, Jackson, from that point of view, who do you trust more to lead this game and build momentum off of it?
I trust TCU because, like years ago, I'd have trusted Belichick, but the Bill Belichick era now at North Carolina, it feels similar to the Bill Walsh era in the second stint at Stanford, where, they had all these high hopes. Everybody's tuning in. Everybody wants to watch Stanford football, but you only have one 10-win season. That's it. Mm-hmm. They go to a 4-win season, then a 3-win season. That was not the guy that was not the same guy getting wins for Joe Montana and, being the head coach at the time of Joe Montana being QB. And then dealing with that situation, with, the beginning of that whole situation between Steve Young and Joe Montana. That was not the same head coach that was part of the 49ers Super Bowl dynasty where they're getting not 1, not 2, but 3 Super Bowls, right? Mm-hmm. When he came to Stanford, he was just looking for something to do. He didn't want to just be at home all the time. I feel like that's the same thing with Bill Belichick. He just took this job out of boredom. He took the North Carolina head coaching job out of boredom. I don't care what he said at a press conference that he was like, my dad and I always wanted to go coach in North Carolina. That's some bullshit PR. That is a bullshit PR job. You took it because you were bored at home. That way I would just be like, you know what? I can accept that. I don't need this feel good crap. Truth's gonna hurt, but a truth makes you hurt for a little bit. It stings, but you feel better from the outcome. A lie makes you feel good, sweet and tingly, but in the long term, it hurts like hell. That's what I'm feeling like we're getting from the Belichick era. And it's not even hiring Belichick that was just a dumb move. It was firing Matt Brown. And then just going, oh, well, we're going to replace it with Bill Belichick. Dude, they're the same age. No, just no.
And that's what bugged a lot of people. And Jackson, that's what bugged a lot of people, including you and our good buddy Jeffrey, who's a North Carolina fan. It wasn't the fact that they fired Matt Brown. It's the fact of who they hired after. Because they didn't go after someone like a Bob Chesney or a John Summerall. They didn't go for someone younger or someone like a Matt Campbell. They didn't go for someone like that. They went for Bill Belichick. And don't get me wrong, Bill Belichick's the GOAT and will always be one of the GOATs of this sport. But like you said, though, Jackson, you basically traded in a used car and got a slightly more used car, so to speak, or maybe with better miles on it. I mean, however you want to look at it. So it's kind of like one of them, Jackson. It's not so much the hire of Bill Belichick. It's the way that they did the process, Jackson. Because here's the thing, Jackson. If like it's like we say, Jackson. It's just like you fired Mac Brown because you thought he was over the hill, and then you bring in Belichick and you think, wait a minute, they're the same age, and Belichick's never coached a college.
100% Rock and Rant, 100%. I mean, they had a chance at John Summerall. They blew it. They played it different. They could have had him and maybe Darren. That would have probably gotten you your first ACC title since 1980. Like, my God. Like 1980, you had Dolly Parton being a star. Rest in peace to Dolly Parton, the Queen of the South. Being a star with Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin on 9 to 5 and playing that nice little number of working 9 to 5. There we go. I mean, that's the last time North Carolina won an ACC title in college football. Think about that for a moment. And then North Carolina's just going, oh, well, we're gonna do what we've been doing for the umpteenth time and hire some guy that is, about to retire, make this his last gig. This is a Make-A-Wish. No, just no.
And Dave's here makes he makes a better analogy. He sums it up for me here, Jackson. He says it was like buying a Range Rover. It looked sexy, but the Ford Explorer you had was the same, but without the Range Rover price tag. Exactly. And Dave's here. Thank you for bringing that up. And it basically sums up my point. He just did it right there, Jackson. That was basically Mac Brown and Bill Belichick in a nutshell. This right here is what Dave's here says. Great point. Jackson, it's basically like he said. But Jackson, to this game, though, TCU's 9.5-point favorites. Here's the thing, Jackson. I'm conflicted on this game.
I'm not.
Because I could see TCU winning, but I could also see North Carolina pulling this thing out. Because Bill Belichick, Jackson, he doesn't like to get embarrassed. Last year had to eat in his crawl, and you know how he is, Jackson. From all his years in New England, I'm sure he had his new team running sprints up and down the field, doing it the Patriots way, but instead in North Carolina. So I expect them to come out a little more fired up this year. Am I saying they're going to win the ACC? No. But I expect to see improvement out of North Carolina. And TCU, Jackson, they have a habit of slow starts and losing games they shouldn't. And let me ask you this, Jackson, and we'll make a pick here. Sonny Dykes, Jackson, is this a make or break season for him?
Not quite. If they're having like a 9-win season, I think he's good to go. But if it's like an 8-win season, he's kind of in trouble. Because, I mean, you make it to the Big 12 title game in your first season, you lose. But then, you go on that run you get knocked down like Mike Tyson knocking down fighters in the first 30 seconds in a 1980s Mike Tyson fight. I mean, that's what TCU Georgia was. Then you come up short at a bowl game, in 2023. That's not the kind of season you wanted to have, but it happened. But then, 24, you go 9-4, but the problem is you're smacking Louisiana off face the earth. I mean, you're supposed to smack Louisiana off face the earth. Oklahoma State was pathetic. And I mean, Cincinnati, pathetic. And Arizona, just disappointing everybody in 2025. So it's like you can't really find a whole lot of winning records that TCU was beaten in 2024, of course. But I mean, like 2025, I mean, they had a good win against Houston. I'll give them that. I mean, they look pretty good against West Virginia. They look pretty good against SMU, of course. They smacked North Carolina off the face of the earth last year. And they had a fantastic, incredible finish against the USC Trojans in the Alamo Bowl, scoring a game-winning touchdown on 3rd and long in overtime. Question was, did it really say anything about TCU? Did it say more about like USC pissing it away against TCU in the Alamo Bowl? That is not what USC had in mind with Lincoln Riley, which we will definitely get to in a minute. But you know, the Horned Frogs, they want more than 9-4. They want more than 4. And this game against the North Carolina Tar Heels is the start of that. Now, do I think they can beat the Tar Heels? No doubt about that, which we'll get to that in a minute. But
I mean,
we will see what's happening with TCU. And you know, Sonny Dykes, you know, if he wants to have a good year, well, if he wants to have a better year than 9-4, I think 2026 is a good time to have that, honestly.
well, Jackson, since you kind of insinuated where you're going, I'll let you start this one off, Jackson. Who is your pick for this game in Ireland?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I've got TCU winning 35-17 against the
Okay.
Tar Heels. I mean, that Tar Heel defense, I mean, that whole Tar Heel team is a mess. It is a mess. It is a fate worse than hell. I mean, they're lucky. I mean, like that whole place is a disaster. It's just a complete mess, from the general manager situation to the defensive coordinator, and you know, your head coach just like taking this job out of boredom. That's bad. That's bad, man.
I'll say this, Jackson. So you got TCU winning big and covering the spread. Okay. So here's the thing.
North Carolina like a chicken nugget is what they're gonna do.
Here's the thing, Jackson. I think we have to factor in, like Michigan Anderson and a couple other people in our chat have said, this is a different time zone. The weather, I think it's supposed to be raining over there, or I think it's supposed to be. We got to factor in all of that. Here's the thing, Jackson. That all plays into Bill Belichick's favor. What does he like to do, Jackson? Defense and run the football. And don't get me wrong, Jackson. I don't think TCU to real in the chat. Listen.
There we go.
And quick shout out to our good friend, Joey Foster, by the way. Joey Foster says, howdy, Jackson. Howdy, everybody. Smash the like button. Shout out to Joey, one of our biggest West Virginia supporters, one of our biggest supporters from day one. Joey, my friend, we love you, and we're praying for you, good buddy. We love you to death. Me and Jackson send you well wishes, good buddy, and we're hoping West Virginia goes 12-0 and wins it all for you, good buddy. I hope you know that. You're in our thoughts and prayers, and go. Jackson, what's West Virginia saying? Old country roads.
Cue those country roads. Cue those country roads.
But yes, Joey, we love you. But back to this game. Here's the thing, Jackson. I may be completely wrong. I'm going North Carolina with the upset. I'm going 22-20 North Carolina upsets TCU. I think North Carolina pulls it off in week 0. I think Bill Belichick and company, I think with the weather and all this, I think, yes, TCU may have all the athletes, but I think they're going to be able to run the ball more effective. Jackson. So I'm going 22-20 Tar Heels for week 0.
Well, you got a lot of faith in them, because I sure don't.
At 3 o'clock, Jackson, on NBC, we got San Jose at number 14, USC. And USC, Jackson, is a 39.5-point favorite. Okay, Jackson, let's just get this out of the way. Then we can talk about the whole USC, what we want to see. We both have TCU winning this game. But, Jackson, does USC cover the spread? Let's go on and get the formalities out of the way, and then we can talk about this.
I feel like this could be a bad beats type game where it's like, you know, either USC comes short, beat the spread, or you just see like some random obscure touchdown. Like, I don't know why, but you're going to see a bad beat in there somewhere for USC San Jose State.
Okay.
So I mean, you're either a USC fan, a San Jose State alumni, or a fan of that team, or a gambling degenerate if you're really watching this game. Or better yet, you're just happy college football is here if you're watching San Jose State USC. I mean, yeah, I got that Peacock membership, but I'm not. No, I would not be blowing my money watching San Jose State USC most of the time. But for week 0, because I mean, I want to see what the USC team is looking like. Oh my God. 47.
See, here's the thing, Jackson. Obviously, USC's got their quarterback back, but Jackson, obviously, their offense, they lost Mekhi Lemon in the draft, of course. He went to the NFL draft and got drafted by the Eagles. So, Jackson, they're replacing a lot of weapons on offense. My thing is, how much of this new offense is going to take time to learn? That's why, like you said, Jackson, this could be a bad beat. We could be thinking USC is going to roll to 40, and they might only score 31 or something like that. And then Jackson, the defense, USC's defense. What is Lincoln Riley always, Jackson? What have we harped on him about?
He's
defense.
falling apart in the big games. He's falling apart
in his defense.
He's falling apart.
Yes, that too.
Oh, yeah, he's falling apart in the big games. He's fallen short of expectations. I'll go as far as to say this feels eerily similar to Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M. That's what it feels like with the Lincoln Riley era at USC. They came in with high hopes, hoping that it was going to be exactly like the Pete Carroll era, but it's not been anything like that. They've been close to getting a drink at the Long Branch with Miss Kitty than they have getting to a natty, getting a playoff win. They've not gotten any of that. Zero. Zilch. I mean, coming up short, blowing it in the Alamo Bowl against TCU last year. That's a mess. That's a complete mess. But, I mean this year's the year, so they got a chance to prove themselves. And Darrell says there's a 47-year-old on San Jose State's roster, and I'm looking at his name. Can I go ahead and pull this up for a moment?
Go for it.
Yeah, so as they say, true strange. So it's like this like stuff you see in movies. I swear, we see 47-year-old pastor Justin Buzzard. Oh damn that! I'll be damned. They got a pastor playing. Oh, San Jose City College. Oh, okay.
San Jose State.
Hey, shoot.
Okay, wrong one. Wrong one.
So
it's okay though.
Oh man, but like a 47-year-old walk on, like man.
Yeah, wrong one.
Oh, I tell you what.
See, here's the thing, Jackson. The thing with this is obviously, Jackson, Notre Dame's not on the schedule this year, right? So obviously this is USC's warm-up game. Obviously, Jackson, we're not taking this one seriously. I'm not taking a swing on this one. I know you aren't either. This is more about Jackson. Here's the thing. San Jose State's one of them teams, Jackson. They always seem to play close, though. That's the thing. There's been a couple of years where that's the thing, Jackson. I don't think they're going to win, but they could cover. I feel like being week 0, I could see USC coming out a little sluggish. I could see a world where that happens, especially if the Gary Patterson defense that USC's been talking about doesn't show up. I mean, Jackson, there's a chance. I mean, but it's USC, Jackson. I'll go 41-16 Trojans.
I've got USC winning 49-10.
I'll go 41.
It's basically a point and a half under the total point spread and half a point under the spread for USC on this one. So, my God. Like, oh my God. Oh man, 49-7. Like, oh my God. Like
USC wins 63-35. That's a possibility too.
Scudero. They lost Scudero over to Colorado. I was talking about him with Miles from the Colorado Voice College Football Channel the other day.
Well, here's the thing too, Jackson, with these type games too, USC may be a big in the half, Jackson, and then they might give up a touchdown or two and then make the scoreboard look competitive. You got to think about that too, Jackson, because once a team gets up by so much, you also have to think, hey, just foot off the gas, we're cruising, let them go in. Like, that's what I think too, Jackson. Like I said, 41-16. Now, would I be surprised if USC put 60 up on them? No. Do I think it's going to happen? No, because they're not as explosive as they were last year. They've got athletes, but they're not as explosive. They lost Jacoby Lane. They lost Mekhi Lemon. Those were two big major factors. So it's interesting. But Jackson, let's move on to a game that everyone can be happy about. 3:30 on ESPN. NC State goes at Virginia in a massive ACC conference showdown. And Virginia is a 4-point favorite. So basically, Vegas is telling you, take the 3 for the home spread and then add a point to it. So here's the thing. For anyone that looked at this game and wondered why it's in Virginia, so Jackson, I will let Jackson explain more of this because he's better with this than I am. I give him all the props and kudos on this. But there was some trouble in Rio de Janeiro with the athletic committee, and Jackson will detail that more here in just a second when I pass the baton to him, like I so elegantly do. But we can confirm this will count as a conference game. The winner of this game will be impacted in conference. So we have high stakes, meaningful game to kick off week 0. But Jackson, fill the people in on why this is no longer happening in Rio and why we are now going to Charlottesville to kick off this game.
Well, in early June of 2026, the event organizer Athlete Advantage informed the ACC that, and the schools, North Carolina State and Virginia, that it could not be conducted as planned due to the logistical hurdles and the lower than expected ticket sales and travel interest. So it's like there's not a whole lot of travel interest in going to Brazil in late August. I'm just like, honestly, it was what is happening there, but they just kind of went, okay, so next best option, kind of go back home.
And see, but here's the thing too, Jackson.
Yeah, I think so too, Rock and Rant. Yeah, no one really wanted to go to Brazil. Like it's not really having that. It's kind of like the same thing with Michigan, Western Michigan, where we thought it was going to be in Germany, but that was not going to be a week 0 game in Germany. And it's like, yeah, okay, this is not going to work out like people think it's going
to. And see, Jackson, that's one of the things too. Like Jackson, like you said, and we won't go down this rabbit hole. We'll be here all night. But this is why Jackson has been against taking college football across the world, because of things like this. And Jackson has openly admitted on his platforms and every platform you listen to him on, he's always said on campus, keep it on campus.
Yeah.
And Jackson, you correct me if I'm wrong, but you're okay with the Ireland. You're so on the London game, but you're okay with the Ireland game. But
I'm all right with the Ireland game, but it's like if you're having a Canada game, that's fine because it's like in North America, so I'm okay with it. Like Mexico, I'm okay with it, but honestly, like the trying to be a mini NFL, that's going to end badly. Honestly, like trying to make college football this mini NFL is a bad look for the sport of college football, and it's not going to end well, honestly.
But Jackson, as the great John Madden says, though, we are going to have a game breakout, but it's going to be in America on campus in Charlottesville, Virginia. Jackson, NC State, Virginia, massive ACC showdown to kick off week 0, Jackson. Can Virginia repeat the success
they had? Freeze for a moment. Chat, let me know if he's oh, there he is. He is unfrozen.
Okay, I froze for a minute. We're good. Okay. Can Virginia repeat what they did last year, Jackson? Can Tony Elliott create that magic? Jackson, as you know, I've been very high on Tony Elliott. And everyone that's known me, and of course Jackson up here, I've always been a big Tony Elliott backer since he's gotten to Virginia. I've always said I think Tony Elliott's going to do great things in Charlottesville. So that's the thing. Can he recreate the magic? NC State, Jackson, CJ Bailey.
Happen.
Yes, and with NC State, Jackson, CJ Bailey, a lot of NC State fans have high hopes for him. They think he is a future Heisman candidate, maybe even a first-round draft pick, and they think the sky's the limit with him at NC State. But Jackson, you and Mr. Dave Doring have gone round and round. You've had your qualms with Mr. Doring, and I'll let you air those grievances in a second. Here's the thing. I have compared Virginia to BYU. Now, I know Jackson disagrees with me on that, but let me explain. Last year, BYU was winning all these close games, or a couple years ago. They were winning all these close games, and I told Jackson, I said, typically when you win a lot of close games, the ball goes the other way, and of course, they lost Retzlaff. And Jackson's like, good buddy. We got to remember the defense and Kalani Sitake, and it turned out BYU proved me wrong. And I feel like, for me, I feel like Virginia is in the same situation. I feel like everyone is ready to write them off and say that was just a one-hit wonder. I feel like Tony Elliott's got a little something cooking in Virginia. Now,
you would have loved my conversation, my two conversations with Jackie Franchini from Wahoo's 247. Like, incredible insider on the Virginia Cavaliers. Go check her out.
Yes.
She was talking with Mountaineer Paul and I not once but twice about the Cavaliers Day, and I had to ask that question, because it was like Cavaliers last year had a lot of one-score games, for their victories. And usually it means you're going to have a regression next season. Is this the exception or not quite for the Cavaliers? She does believe that there is an exception for this year, but I can't but feel like the schedule is a little bit tougher this year compared to last year. But, the Virginia Cavaliers, they've lost a lot of key guys. I mean, they've got all their offensive linemen returning. That's huge in of itself. That's a win. And, Bo Prabila is pretty awesome. And you got, but, like Robinson on the defense is looking like a game time decision. It's looking, because he's been hurting. But, we got to wait and see what's going on with Prabila. As Rockin' Rant of CFB Express, check him out on CFB Express. He makes a lot of magic on there. And on Mo and After Dark on CFB. CFB. But he makes an excellent point in the chat about North Carolina State with CJ Bailey, where he's got the reason why he's got NC State is because of CJ Bailey, QB, where he says he's going to make Bo Prabila wish he was back in Missouri. But, the offense looking pretty good. I mean, they got some pretty good additions like Victor Snow from Buffalo. I mean, that's going to be excellent. But, they lost a lot of key guys on defense. I mean, they lost one, like Peyton Wilson. But the problem is the defense was a mess. It was in the 90s. It was in the hundreds. That's a complete mess in of itself.
And see,
it's going to be the same thing this year. Is it going to be better or is it going to be worse?
And see, the thing is, Jackson, the one thing I will say, you can say that they had a messy defense, but Virginia, Jackson, what they have now, right? Winning experience. They know what it takes to win these games now. And I get it. You could say, well, you can't really cover that up. And I understand that, Jackson. But when you have a winning experience like this, pulling out these games out the fire, Jackson, it only makes you better as a head coach. It only makes your teams better going forward. You could take those experiences. And Jackson, that's the thing I think that will help propel Virginia and why I think they can win this game. And Bo Prabila, Jackson, he was pretty good. Like he was. He played pretty good. I won't say he was one of the best, but he's pretty good. He's got he can do a little shake, rattle, and roll. He can now, like you said though, Jackson, CJ Bailey though, if he's everything he's supposed to be, he's Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes all put in one, according to who you ask. So it's gonna be interesting, Jackson. Like you said, now Jackson, I do want to hear your take on Dave Doran because we've had conversations about this. Jackson, what is it with you and Dave Doran? Like, explain that
When
to
they
the audience.
hired him after the 2012 season, they hired him thinking they was going to give him like a 10-win type season. Like they weren't expecting it every year, but they were thinking it was going to be something like that. But we've not seen a single 10-win season from North Carolina State. They always seem to disappoint everybody and come up short. I mean, one of the things he's got saving him is, the winning streak over North Carolina. I mean, that's really looking good for him. I mean, like the best he's had at NC State were the 9-4 records at 2017, 2018, and going 9-3 in 2021 and 9-4 in 2023. But the thing is with NC State, some people are going to get tired of that. They're going to get tired of, they want more. They want more than what they're getting. I mean, like Tom O'Brien got fired for less. I mean, they fired him because, 7-win seasons, not good enough. 8-win seasons, not good enough. They wanted something more than what they were getting. And this guy's like been there since 2013, the year before, the last year of the BCS. Think about that for a moment. Like Doreen has been there since the last year of the BCS. I mean, and they're not even, they're not where they want to be, honestly.
But see, that's the thing, Jackson. With that, and we'll make our picks because we got a couple more games to get through here. I'll say this, Jackson. Yes, some NC State fans are fussing about it, Jackson, but it's not anything like an uproar, though. That's the thing, though, Jackson. There's not like pitchforks and stuff like, if he doesn't this. Like, Jackson, a lot of NC State fans, if you tell them, oh, you're going 8-4 every year, a lot of them, Jackson, will say, okay, sure. Like, I'm not going to fuss. Like, that's the thing, Jackson. It's just like, I'm not saying that that's the majority. I'm saying, Jackson, like a lot of NC State fans you see, if you tell them you're going 8-4, 9-3 every year, they're just kind of like, okay, cool. Like, and Jackson, I think that's part of it too. Jackson, is a lot of fans are content, especially since they're at NC State. It's all about where you're located too, Jackson. If this was Alabama or Ohio State or USC and you're going 8-4, 9-3, there'd be pitchforks. But because of NC State, Jackson, they're kind of just like, okay, cool. Like, every now and then getting a 9-10 win season would be pretty cool. But if we don't, just as long as we win 8 games minimum every year, we're cool. Go Wolfpack. Like, that's kind of what it is, Jackson.
Yeah. But I mean, we're going to wait and see what happens with the Wolfpack. But I mean, I do feel like with some of the expectations being super high on North Carolina State, feels as if they don't have something more than what they're getting, they're going to be mad.
Yes. I think with the talk of this offseason, Jackson, I think, Jackson, if they go 8-4 this year, they might start to get a little fussy. They'll still be mad, but they will be okay. But Jackson, you'll start to hear the grumblings in 2027 of, okay, we got CJ Bailey again. We've built another year. Like, let's get it together. So this is an all-important game, Jackson, because this is going to set the stage for the year in the ACC. Here's the thing, Jackson. Do you want to pick this game, or do you want me to pick first?
I'll go ahead and pick this one, but because it's like after talking with Jackie today of why he's 247, and the more you and I have been like really talking about Virginia, the more I'm kind of like, you know what? I mean, the offensive line is looking pretty good. I mean, they can really kick some ass and take names. I'll
Mm-hmm.
be honest. I feel like that O line's really gonna help us. Now I don't. Now I'm not gonna say Virginia's beat West Virginia. That's not happening. That's not that. I mean, that is not happening. I mean, they are not
Spoiler
gonna beat
alert.
Michael Hawk. What'd you say?
I said spoiler alert.
Yeah, Michael Hawkins, Cam Cook going to have a good time for a long time with that Virginia
I
defense.
disagree, but we'll talk about that in the weeks coming. But
You
go
can
ahead,
tell
Jackson.
I've been hanging around in West Virginia circles over the past several months. So, but in all seriousness, I mean, but I really do believe the Mountaineers will win that one. But back to Virginia, North Carolina State for a moment. The Cavaliers,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm looking at them. I don't think they'll beat the spread. But here's what I do have. I've got a 28-24 victory over the North Carolina State Wolfpack. I've got Virginia
Okay.
one. They're going to be rocking and rolling. They're going
Okay.
to be they're going to pick off CJ Bailey to end this game, or they're basically just going to.
Mm-hmm. I'll say this, Jackson. I think North Carolina State, this is going to be a really good game. I think this is one game that we are going to look at and say, this is a good game. What a way to kick off the season. I've got a 27-23 Virginia victory. I'm going 27-23 Virginia. I think they pull it out. I think this is going to be one of them games where it comes down to like a game-winning drive type thing. Virginia goes down and wins it, or they get a stop on defense. I feel like we're going to see more of that Virginia magic. I'll go 27-23 Cavaliers and a tight one at home. Jackson, 5:30 on CBS Sports Network.
The debut of North Dakota State at an FBS conference.
Yes. Jackson
How
State.
awesome is that? I mean,
Yes.
it's long overdue.
Yes, Jackson State, North Dakota State. And North Dakota State Jackson is a 7-point favorite. So Vegas is telling you it's a touchdown favorite. Jackson, first year. This is why this game is significant. It's the first year in the FBS. Jackson and North Dakota State has been ripping and running the FCS. Now, last year, Jackson, they got eliminated in the second round of the NCAA tournament for the FCS. But they were the 1 seed in the second round. But Jackson, this team has been Premier League dominant in that league. One of the better teams, along with Montana and Montana State. And Jacksonville State, Jackson, we know they have a history of spoiling seasons, and they've had a couple games last year, Jackson, with Central Florida. I remember calling that, Jackson. I said, don't be surprised if Jacksonville State gives Central Florida a scare, and they only lost by 7. Yeah. So, Jackson, and here's the thing. This is going to be a fun game. I think this is a game of you got the former dominant of the FCS, and you got the sneaky sleeper group of 6, group of 5, Jacksonville State, who can give some teams some troubles. Here's the thing, Jackson. I think North Dakota State wins this game. I don't think they cover, though. I'm going to go 20-17 Bison win at home.
Oh, there we go.
I think it's closer than a lot of people expect. What do you think, Jackson?
Well, Jacksonville State is my mama's alma mater, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And North Dakota, but I know that Jacksonville State has been a perennial player in the Conference USA. They've been looking pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
and like Charles Kelly's been able to continue what Rich Rod has built from the last years of the FCS to the first couple of years in the Conference USA. It's been pretty amazing, right? But North Dakota State, I honestly feel like they can really win the Mount West, but also it would not surprise me if they were unbeaten, and it would not surprise me if they're that unbeaten group of 6 team that some people in circles out of nowhere are lobbying for that playoff spot. Lucky for
Mhm.
them, the rule where you go from being an FCS school to being in an FBS conference in your first couple years, where it's like you can't go to a bowl game for the first 2 years, that rule has been revoked, of course, which means North Dakota State bowl eligible. They are bowl eligible for, you know, to go to any bowl game they want. Or, if they go unbeaten and win the Mountain West, they've got a shot to be that group of six team in a playoff game. But for now, I think I'm going North Dakota State in a 35-27 fashion.
Okay, Jackson getting the dub. 6:30 Jackson on ESPN Plus. Hit the wrong button. Sacramento State, Eastern Michigan, Jackson. This is another big time. Sacramento State, Jackson. They are in the MAC this year. First year in the MAC. Another team coming over, Jackson. Eastern Michigan, though, Jackson, is a 10.5 point favorite. Not 10.5, 10-point favorite. 10-point favorite over Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan is a 10-point favorite at home.
Eastern Michigan. That's TJ's alma mater.
Yes.
From the I believe he's talked about that a few times.
So, Jackson, does Sacramento State go on the road and win their first game in the FBS, or does Eastern Michigan prevail? I'll let you go first.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't really know a whole lot about either team, honestly, but I know like Sacramento State is in their first year of the MAC. I can't believe this is a conference game, honestly. This is just part of that crazy world of college football now, where this is like the new normal of college football. Sacramento State and the MAC. Like, ugh. Like, no, just no. Put them in the Mountain West. Don't do that to us. I suck.
Jackson's upset. But who do you got winning, Jackson? Come on.
Eastern Michigan, 38-21.
Okay. Jackson's got Eastern Michigan. Okay, Jackson.
Crap hole.
7 p.m. on the ACC network. Hawaii, Stanford, and the former Michigan man, Davis Warren, has been awarded the starting job at Stanford. Stanford is a 4-point favorite. So basically, once again, give Stanford the 3 home points plus 1 more. And Jackson, you want to know why this game is significant? Because this was week 0 last year in Hawaii, and Hawaii stunned Stanford and was able to pull off the upset. Jackson, this is one I'm looking forward to because I want to see if Hawaii can do it again. If they could go into Stanford and somehow pull this off again, or is Stanford better in year 2 as they start the Kevin Pritchard era? Right, Jackson? Kevin Pritchard?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll make sure I got the coach's name right. Jackson, this is interesting. I'm not sure who to pick because on one hand, it's hard to go to Stanford and win. But on the other hand, Hawaii, they got their quarterback back from last year. They returned a lot of their pieces. You want to pick this one, or you want me to go first, Jackson?
You go first on Stanford, Hawaii.
I'll say this, Jackson. It's hard to go into Stanford win. And with Andrew Luck being the president and all that, he's brought in a lot of pieces. He said he's building this team back up. But Hawaii, Jackson, they're gutsy. They play very good football. They went 9-4 last year, almost a 10-win season, which rarely happens in Hawaii history. Jackson, I don't know if you want to call this. I'll go Stanford begrudgingly.
That's a toss-up. Yeah, Tavia Pritchard, man, get things rolling, Pritchard.
And Artistically Incredible says, will the stadium even be full, Austin? Probably not artistically incredible. Probably not. It'll probably be full. And I'll say this: they'll have it all tarped off. I'm not saying there won't be any Stanford fans there, but they're going to be like UCLA. It's just going to be tarped off to look good for TV. Jackson, I'll go 27-28. 28-27 Stanford wins in a shootout.
I got Stanford in a 31-28 victory.
Okay. Okay, Jackson. Come back on camera for this one. I want to see your reaction to this one. The audience, because Jackson, we know the audience loves you in Florida State. Jackson, 7 p.m. on
That
the
place is hell.
7 p.m. on the CW. New Mexico State. Jackson goes at Florida State.
Now that's a game that should be on Disney Plus right there.
Jackson, Florida State is a 30.5-point favorite. Listen, Jackson, I know this isn't Jerry Kill, New Mexico State, and I'll let you talk about this, Jackson.
I mean, a baby is a favorite against New Mexico State. That's the thing.
But Jackson, 30.5, isn't that a little much? Like, what has Florida State done to prove that they could dominate New Mexico State?
Yeah,
I mean, let me ask you this, Jackson. Is this your do or die for Mark Norvell? Is this it for him?
This season, hell yeah, it is. Like, I'll do one better. He's got the first half of this year to save his ass. Because if he doesn't have a good stat line, if he doesn't have a good start, if they're getting smacked off the face here by SMU, they're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
If they're even losing to New Mexico State, if they're like barely beating them, if the players are just sitting there laughing their asses off when Norvell walks off the room, not a warning, not even a hint. He's gonna be gone. He's gonna be gone. No more. Not a warning, not a plead, not a beg, not a get down on your knees, but a simple
just walk out.
We're letting you go. You're out. And then the notification from Pete Thamel is coming. That's what's going to happen. If Florida State screws, if they were to somehow screw the pooch against New Mexico State, now you're going to see Norvell get thrown out on a limb. He's going to be thrown out like damn Carlton from but Jack, Prince of Bel Air. They're going to throw him out that door.
I'm sorry, unprofessional on Jackson speaking, but this is Duvon. He said, "Don't let him back on the plane if the game's close."
No, it sucks if that happens.
So Jackson, if it's like 10-3 going into the fourth quarter,
better head coach than Mike Norvell, and to think Alabama was even thinking about getting him at one point. Like, why was Alabama even thinking about that? Like, no, just no.
Michigander says he won't get thrown out. They're going to strap him to a rocket and launch him into the sun. Yes,
I'm telling you right.
Jackson.
You know, if anybody watching like the Has Been Hotel show, where it's like when we see like Charlie going nuts over her friend Angel does getting abused, and then she's about to turn into a demon for a little bit because she sees her friend getting harmed. That's going to be the athletic director of Florida State. If he catches Florida State trailing New Mexico State in any way, shape, or form, okay, maybe not the first quarter, but like in the third quarter or the fourth quarter, and they're like winning by a touchdown, winning by 4, or you know, they do this bullshit like they did against Stanford last year. He's got to throw Norvell out.
He said, "Dang, I got Austin acting unprofessional." Hey, you're funny, artistically credible. I'm sorry. The way you just said, they're not even going to let him back on the plane if it's a closed game. Like a parent after you've done something, you're like, no, you're walking home.
Beavis and Butthead make better coaches than Mike Norvell. I mean,
like Jackson.
I get you're mad about being left out of the playoffs, but you just piss yourself against the Georgia Bulldogs, and you go
But
2 and
Jackson,
10,
here's the thing, though,
5 and 7
Jackson.
afterwards.
Here's the
No.
thing, Jackson. To come to their defense, Jackson, they were depleted. They had opt-outs. Let's not hold that against Mike Norvell.
Well, I
That's
mean,
not his.
yeah, I mean, you got me there, but I'm talking about like after the fact. Like they should just come in motivated, ready to tear ass in 2024, but then
Okay.
they just let
Yes.
themselves get drunk or something. Like what the hell was that 2024 team? And what God's name is that 2025 team? I mean, you only play for Alabama. You don't play up
Mm-hmm.
to Virginia. You don't play up to Miami. You lose to Stanford and all that stuff about the players just laughing as soon as coach is lecturing. No. They're not taking him seriously. Just no.
That's what I'm saying, Jackson. The domino effect of Florida State getting left out of the playoffs may be the very well reason Mike Norvell no longer has a job after this year. Because Jackson, he has lost the locker room. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and I want to make this perfectly clear. I am not calling for anyone's job. Like, I don't like being that guy or pointing it out because we're all humans. We got to make our living and stuff. I hope Norvell keeps his job. I hope they win 10 games and go to the ACC title game and he gets to keep his job. But what we're seeing as fans, it's like you've lost the locker room. They don't care anymore. They could care less. They've lost the pride of Florida State. I mean, like that's the thing. And like Michigander said, I'm here with you in that boat. I had Florida State going back to back in the ACC in 2024. They had a top 10 Porter class too, and then went 2 and 10. Exactly. That's a perfect example of they got their heart broken and they just didn't carry it over like a Super Bowl hangover. But to this game, though, Jackson, does Florida State cover the spread? Let's start there.
I don't even have confidence in that. I mean, I feel like that's a
Or do you think New Mexico State
38-10 victory?
And Artistically Crest is awesome. Look at their schedule in October.
I don't even know if he's making it to October. Like,
hey, I was just saying
on how Florida State performs in the first 4 games.
Hey, I just want to make this clear. Everyone, I was just saying that as a point of reference. I don't ever like throwing coaches out or anything like that. That's why I was saying that. I want all coaches to do good, all players to do good. Like, that's the thing. Like, but yes, I see the schedule, and you're right. If he makes it through the year, God bless him. But to this game, go ahead, say your score, Jackson. My apologies.
I got Florida State win 38-10. I mean,
so you got them barely covering, right? Yeah.
No. New Mexico State beats the spread.
Yeah. Let me do the math in my head. Jackson, I'll go 24-6, Florida State. I'll go 24-6, Florida State wins. Jackson, and our final
Those results are gonna suck, man. Like that's gonna suck.
Jackson, and to cap off our week 0, 10 p.m. on Fox, we've got Memphis, UNLV, the nightcapper in Las Vegas, the Wild Wild West. UNLV Jackson is 4.5-point favorite. Jackson, this is an interesting game. Memphis is starting all over again, Jackson. Ryan Silverfield is no longer there. He's in Arkansas with the Pig Sueys. Seth Hennigan, graduated, all that good stuff. Memphis is starting over again, Jackson. And UNLV going into year 3, I believe it is, a Dan Mullen, right, Jackson? Year 3 or year 2?
It's year 2.
Year 2.
I just want to hear if Dan Mullen's going to tell everybody that the shitter's full, kind of like Cousin Eddie, because, I mean, they do kind of look alike. No, but it all seriousness.
I have a question, Steve. Why you got your receipt book out already? Like, I need to know. Why don't you? Anywho, And
Oh, he
this
got
is a
a
good
state
point.
for all of us. No worries. Yeah, I mean, 100% Michigander, 100%.
This could be, yes, because Jackson, UNLV, they could win their conference. They could win the Mountain West. I think it's them and Boise. I think North Dakota State, they could win the Mountain
Boise's
West.
not in the Mount West anymore. They're in the
The
Pac-12.
Pac-12, my bad, my
Yeah,
bad.
so
Pac-12,
the Mount West is anybody's conference at this point. I mean, New Mexico
yes.
is fighting
I don't
for
know
a
why.
spot.
Yeah.
UNLV, North Dakota State. Oh, they're gonna kill one. It's gonna be like watching Glengarry, Glen Ross. Only question is who's the Jack Lemon of that group, and who's the Al Pacino of that group.
Mm-hmm. But Jack and Artistically Incredible says, does UNLV even have a quarterback yet? I know Anthony Calandra, he's going to be starting for Nebraska, which we'll talk about that next week when we talk about Nebraska. But Jackson, who is their starting QB? Have they named one yet?
Let me see. Let's look.
And while
at
you do that,
UNLV.
I will pull this up. UNLV and Memphis will both go 11-2, but whoever has the head-to-head
I mean,
win.
Jackson Arnold is playing at QB, but I mean, Alex Orgy is there as well. So I just want to hear, man, there's so many missed opportunities for Gus Johnson to
Jackson Arnold. Okay. Here's the thing with Jackson Arnold. He has his moments. Just ask Oklahoma fans, just ask Auburn fans. He has his moments where you're like, okay, this dude's got something to work with. And Dan Mullen has been known to pull a lot out of his quarterbacks and his offenses. He's one of those guys that he maximizes what he has. Look at what he did with Graham Mertz and Kyle Trask. Look what he did with those guys and Felipe Franks at Florida. Look what he did with those guys and how he maximized them. So he can bring something out of Jackson Arnold, especially with a Dan Mullen offense. Dan Mullen could play some offense, excuse me. He could scheme it up.
Mm-hmm.
And Jackson, being this is in UNLV, Memphis starting over Jackson, that scares me because it's just like, how much of a step back did they take, Jackson? Because we see it when these coaches leave these schools, how much of a step back they take. Like South Florida, Jackson, they're probably going to have
like Memphis is going to be taking a step forward without Ryan Silverfield as head coach.
Really?
They were always coming up short.
Okay.
The American Athletic Conference title.
Mm-hmm.
They're always coming up short in the big games under Ryan Silverfield. I've got a good feeling things are going to be just fine with Charles Huff at Memphis, because honestly, like with what he was doing at Marshall was incredible. I mean, it was incredible what he was doing there. And, he had a pretty good year at the 1 year he was at Southern Miss. I was surprised. He hasn't been coaching in the American Athletic Conference at this point, prior to this year. I'm going to like what he's doing at Memphis. I mean, he's going to make all kinds of music in the 2020. But this game, like a lot of people say, can make a huge difference on who's going to be that group of six.
Group of six. Go ahead, Jackson. I was just emphasizing group of six, not group of five.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I be honest, like that UNLV QB situation, which it's like, well, who's the leader, Orgy or Arnold? Are we going, hey Arnold, or are we going, hey Orgy? That's going to be the question for UNLV. But
see, here's the thing:
everything's in good hands with them. They're a little more prepared, whereas like UNLV is no.
See, here's the thing, Jackson. With Dan Mullen, though, Jackson, I feel like no matter who the QB is, if it's Arnold or Orgy, he is going to have them schemed up and ready. Like, Jackson, you can criticize Dan Mullen for a lot of things. And you can say he didn't recruit well enough in Florida, or he didn't do enough, or he didn't do this, or he didn't do. One thing you cannot say about that man is he always gets the best out of his QBs. He always has a good offense. He always has a top 50 offense. Even if you look at his numbers back in Florida, he was always top 50 in every category in the offense. Now, I know you may say that's not that hard to do, but it's still something to be. There was a couple years where Florida had a top 25 offense. So he could do that with this team. But like you said, Jackson, Charles Huff, I knew that was the head coach. But Jackson, he's taken a step up, and now he's coming to Memphis. I'll say this, Jackson. It's an interesting game, and the spread is. Let me pull this back up real fast. The spread is 4.5
UNLV.
4.5. So here's the thing, Jackson. I'll make the pick real fast. Or do you want to make the pick first?
I'll go ahead and go with the underdog on the road and go with the Memphis Tigers on this one. I think that's going to be a 28-24 victory for the Memphis Tigers. I think they get it done in Las Vegas, and it may not look like it makes a difference now, but I can see it making a difference for the Memphis Tigers in the 2026 season.
Here's the thing. Yes, and UNLV has no defense, but they're all offense. But Jackson, I don't know. I know you're high on Memphis. I'm not so much. And I know UNLV doesn't really have a home environment, but I do think UNLV, Jackson, will win this game. I think they'll win 38-24. I think they'll win 38-24. I think Jackson, they'll win by 2 touchdowns, 38-24.
Oh, okay.
UNLV wins by 2 scores in a good game. But
An excellent game.
Yes. He says, I actually like that score. But this was Picks and Analysis week 0. That was all of our week 0 games. Obviously, week 1 is coming right around the corner. And we can't say we will be live Saturday night for Final Whistle, the season premiere of Final Whistle, Saturday night. We will go live either after Memphis UNLV, or we might go live during the game and do a little play-by-play while we recap. But we will be live Saturday, me and Jackson, for week 0, breaking it down, talking about it. And as far as the week 1 schedule goes, me and Jackson are still figuring out whether Jackson will be here with me or not, but I will be here, and I might have me a co-host beside me. I've got a backup plan on that.
You might have like a fill-in Frank or like a little version of Frank Isola.
Yes. But with that being said, though, Jackson, college football is back. The NFL is back, Jackson. But before we go, you know what we got to do, Jackson? We got to pay the bills, so to speak. Got to pay. Steven Cherry says, I might be a co-host. I can promise you this. Steve, if you bring that receipt book, I'll let you on. But no, in all seriousness, though. Jackson, obviously, with college football around the corner, you're going to be plenty of busy with content across multiple different platforms.
Oh, Lord. A lot.
So, Jackson, where should we start? You know what? Let's start with the main one, the one that pays the bills. And let's start with a little sponsorship. Alabama, the voice of college football, Tumblr, of course. But you can also check out their YouTube channel as well with Jeffrey, Jackson, and Travion on Mondays and Thursdays and Saturdays, and the occasional Sundays and Mondays as well. If Alabama plays on Championship Monday this coming year, or they play on a Sunday bowl game, which they'll get to that when they get to that. But Jackson, take it away.
Well, you can find me Monday night, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday nights on Alabama, the voice of college football, Travion Ware and Jeffrey Only Talk Sports Monday nights. You can find me on the Alabama College Show, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, where we take your calls on the Crimson Tide. But next week, we are moving the 100th edition of the Alabama College Show to next Friday out of respect for the 24-hour live show with Mark Rogers, of course. So, that should be on next week on account of week 1. So that should be fun. But, I don't know yet, but it should be on, but we'll definitely wait and see. But you can find me on Alabama, the voice of college football, Mondays and Thursdays, and after every ball game on Saturdays. with not just Jeffrey Trevion, but also the primetime live host, Kelsey, Huffine and Carson Becker. And you can find me on SEC at the Voice of College Football Wednesday nights with Tucker Harlan and Andrew Miller, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can find me Sunday nights as well on there for SEC postgame. You can also find me on College Sports Insiders with Mountaineer Paul and myself, where we will be joined by Melissa Treebwasser at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, discussing the TCU Horned Frogs and how they've got a monster season ahead of them in 2026 if they can get through North Carolina and West Virginia, which, they could definitely do that, which, of course they can get through BYU, but the thing is, though, you get through those two games, I think you can get through November possibly. But, you can find us there, and you can also find that Jackie Francione episode with Paul and myself discussing the Virginia Cavaliers earlier tonight on College Sports Insiders. And you can also find me on Jackson Johnson 979. I promise you there's some Jackson episodes coming up. I got to make sure I've got them squared away first. But, I will definitely be seeing you when I'm seeing you. It's not that I'm not on here film content. No worries. I'm here with my guy, Austin, on Pits Analysis and Paul Whistle. But, I just let myself get too busy from time to time to the point where it's like I'm doing the mess around. But for more updates in my world, check me out, JacksonVCP on /Twitter and on Instagram and Threads, JacksonJohnson543-908. Austin, what have you got going on in the world, good buddy?
Yes. And I just want a friendly reminder to everybody, even when Jackson's not here, for you Jacksonian viewers, it will still be aired here on his channel as well. It'll be still simulcast. So you will still see my picks for the week as well on my channel and Jackson's. And for all of his X and Twitter folks, we're still working out the kinks with that, whether it's going to be casted on that or not, because Jackson might need it. But definitely come over to our YouTubes, either one. It'll definitely be simulcast there, and you will still get my picks. Steve, you could still get that receipt book out on me. Just because Jackson ain't here doesn't mean you can. And I just want to say, Jackson, before I promote myself, I want to say shout out to Jackson for making it happen, and shout out to all you in the chat, Michigander, Texan 1776, if I could say that 3 times fast. Of course, Steven, Artistically Cradle, Rough Rider, all of you for being here. You all make this possible. I hope you all know that. Without you all, and Burks, of course, and of course, Caden, our crazy lovers, Jackson likes to call him. You all make this all possible. Like, without you, we could just be sitting here talking to ourselves. That's no fun. So we thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts, and we hope to see you all Saturday night and going forward this season. Let's have fun. Hopefully all of our teams are good. And just like Steve said, give me my theme music. Don't you worry, Steve. We got new theme music, and we got new ones for Final Whistles. We'll get to that too. And he says, thank you guys for the show. No, thank you, Tex-Nix. Thank you for being here. But for more updates of what I've got going on, you can find me at Sports Talk with Austin, and you can find me on X/Twitter at AustinW17x41. Where I've got updates about all different things, and of course here on YouTube with me and Jackson. Of course, I interviewed Andrew Miller a couple weeks back. Me and Gabe Pickup talked about the NBA. Whole lots of stuff coming this year. I'll be putting out videos on each of these individual games, either tomorrow or Friday. So be on the lookout for that. That way, if you missed the live stream, you can always watch the videos, or you can watch them, and they're clipped there forever. They're there for infamy. You can always go back and say, see, Austin, this is why you don't pick Florida State to cover the spread, and have fun with it. But with all that being said, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Love you guys. We will see you Saturday. Enjoy the NFL. Enjoy college football. See you all Saturday. Or Thursday in Jackson's case tomorrow. But see you all Saturday. Jackson, hit him with our new intro.
Who's got the edge? Who's got the fire? Who's climbing the rankings? And who's gonna slide? Fix it analysis. Make a call to till the final